Guys, deluded, I'm back again, trying this for the 10th time now. I mean, I've done this vid and then it wanted to delete itself off my equipment, so let's go again. Where did I start? Now, we know saying we've had a poor season is an understatement. It's been coming. I mean, last year we came 5th after years of coming top 4. Sometimes we didn't deserve it. Would have been the perfect avenue to see the bubbles broken, pattern up defensively, offensively, mentality-wise, all of the things we need to make us more competitive, whether that would be a stronger chance. I would love a sustained title challenge, getting back into the top 4, or just bringing some competence to the table. Pardon me, guys. Bringing some competence to the table when you're playing top sides. There's always something to play for in the season. So if you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, is for sure. If you look at it like this, right? We're not going to get Europa League. We're not going to get relegated. So there's nothing on our league title chase, or nothing in the league for us to chase. Better yet. But let's say this. I'm not too sure if these are our last games, but I'm sure we've got Hammers, you've got United. I'm sure there's Leicester, and I'm sure there's a next team. There's 4 teams. I'm sure there's 4 teams. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But let's just say, take what I've told you about nothing being able to play for, right? United, whoever, and all the other teams I said, 3, 6, 9, 12. That's 12 points. That's 12 points. That's 12 points to play for. Am I wrong for if I'm a manager, people, and I sit to my team and I say there's 12 points, I want 12 points? What else is there to aspire to? And why that's important and relevant to this is because we face the prospect, if we come 7th, Burnley come ahead of us. I believe if Southampton win the FA Cup, or it's either if they do or don't. I don't know, this is all confusing, but it's either they do or don't. Southampton's got a say in it. And something else has to happen, but there's a good chance that we might be playing, we could end up playing a European League qualifier on the 26th of July. Additional dates, I'm assuming for the second leg, or maybe even for the first, could be the 2nd of August, the 9th of August, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th are earmarked as dates. Now, why this is of any interest to us is because we face out of the top 6 the biggest summer needed for several reasons: recruitment, tactics, etc. It's a World Cup, so I hope to God, let's not be naive. Every top team or every team now has been scouting football for a year now. The majority of their targets have been drawn up. They've contacted agents and moves are going to happen. So I don't want to say we need to have our targets in check, but there's always a target that hasn't been done. And there's the World Cup, the perfect opportunity to scout players, which if you see them, you're going to need to confirm them. So we've got the World Cup. And on the topic of the World Cup, the likes of Xhaka, Iwobi, Elneny, Koscielny, Lacazette, etc. could be off to the World Cup. We know Wenger is very old-fashioned. You get a month or something off, or 2 weeks to a month off to recuperate and get your energy back from the date you exited the competition. So if a player goes out in the group stages, it's a month/2 weeks from then. If they make it to the final and go out then, it happens then. So you get me. So we face the prospect of not just for this Europa League qualifier, but just the damn right bulk of pre-season. So when you consider tactics, shape, all of these things need to be patterned up. If the majority of our players ain't going to be there, it's kind of somewhat useless. And I will say one benefit is because of the bodies that are not going to be there because of the international tournament, it's a perfect pre-season for some young players to put themselves in the window for chances. But yeah, we've got that. We've got the World Cup. We've got the transfer window closes early. I'm so sure it closes early this summer now. And this league's going to start early. I believe the league starts on the 14th of August. So now, you picture we play on the 26th of July, our first leg. And then in several weeks later, couple weeks later, we've got the opening of the Premier League. Sandwiched in between that, I suppose we're going to be on tour in Singapore. And we've got international friendlies against Atletico and a couple other teams to play. So it is a tricky one. I do think we probably won't play in July. We'll somehow get around that. But you can see how it's chaos because you've got the World Cup, you've got the transfer window, and you've got the league starting early and these qualifiers, which is going to be made harder if our players are not there because they're not available, because they're not around, because they're injured, because they're being rested, etc. For its worth, I believe whoever we draw up, the side will be able to take them out. But it just doesn't bond well for needing to plan, and it could be avoided if we just won our remaining games and just won games they needed to be won rather than throw them away, man. Because you picture this is if I'm putting myself in the manager's shoes, this is a nightmare, because you don't know what players you're gonna have, you don't know their fitness levels and stuff like that. You're trying to move players on, you're trying to bring players in. You need to do it like clockwork. It's gonna need to go like clockwork, in my opinion, man. I don't know how it's gonna work, man. Whether we cancel the Singapore if possible. Again, I don't. These are not facts, guys. Whether we cancel it, whether I doubt it could happen, but you take the more stronger players to go and play that Europa League, and some man stay in the Singapore thing. You cancel it completely. You shorten it. You go Singapore, but you don't commit to the International Cup, pre-season cup, which is just a money maker. Let's be honest. But yeah, these are the things I want. I wrote them down, like, so you just so you can have context within this time period. We've got to improve, obviously, fitness pre-season. You've got to get your fitness up, and it's going to take 8 or so games. Shape in and off the ball, pressing from the front and the back, defending and attacking set pieces, playing more direct, and that's in regards to tactics. Bringing in the spine of the side, which is the keeper, the centre half, and the defensive mid. You bring in a winger, I'm laughing. And also the likes of Welbeck, Ramsey, regardless of what we think of the players, if they do not want to commit to a new deal, they need to be moved on. Not because I want Ramsey to leave, it's because I don't want a third season with someone's contract crap hanging over it. Because with every good performance, every top six side and beyond is gonna want him. With every poor thing, he's gonna jump ship. We cannot go into a new season, and I've been here and I've said this 2 years now since I've started this. Cannot go into a new season with the same old baggage and nonsense. We need to improve defensively, the big thing, because we just now touched 100 goals. I say we don't score enough and we don't look threatening enough. I sound like a hypocrite. We have 100 goals. Top goal scorer is on 12 or 13 and he's missed 2 months, so I do have a bit of claim to that. But when you look at our defensive records, or our home and our away records, and how we set up home and away defensively, you see defensively there's a disparity. We're up here for attacking somewhat to a degree based on our own performances, where defensively we're poor, like, and that's being that's being nice, like. So with all of these players being moved all around and things, it doesn't bond, but it does fill me with nerves for pre-season. And on top of that, in regards to I touched on the topics. I touched on the topic of transfer targets. The majority of players that I know are going to be moved to Arsenal, the club know who they're going to sign, to be honest with you. And every other club knows. The majority of the players, they know who they're going to get. There's always 1 or 2 they don't, or you keep your eyes open because of the market, but you know the bulk of the man you want to get or who you're trying to actually target. You're given a chairman's or whatever, given a shortlist long before. So we need to get these transfer ingoings, outgoings, pattern up with our shape. Do I see us realistically doing all of this by the time the season starts, or if we did have to play? Of course not. And I don't want anyone to get confused. Just because you worked for anything from 2 weeks to a month in pre-season on the things I've listed doesn't mean it's going to gel. It's going to take months to gel. But you need to set them pillars, right? Before Rome was built, a brick was put down, or some cement, or some scaffolding, or something in it. Someone drew something, someone marked a bit of space, or someone did something in it. You get where I'm going. So yeah, I don't know the purpose of this vid, but I thought let me just bring this in it, because we need to get our business. We need to just get our business done. We need to pattern up. When other teams, last season we saw it, when other teams were doing what they needed to do tactically and in terms of recruitment, we're playing Maitland now centre-half in pre-season, despite the fact that he's a fullback if you're going to put him there, and his best position's in midfield. So yeah, I get it's pre-season, you can do all them things, but it just shows the nonsense. You do nonsense, you get nonsense at the end come May, and we're en route to have more nonsense than we did last year. So on that note, guys, deluded, man, get in a comment, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out.